Hello again, Noble and here we are. This is Valkyrie ELYSIUM on the PlayStation 4. Free demo dropped in September of 2022. The game's supposed to be available by the end of September. I put about 3 or 4 hours into this game so far. I do like it. This game seems to be delivering, and I appreciate that. The combat is closer to a game like Dragon's Dogma than, say, Nier Automata or Dark Souls. It looks like a Dark Souls game in terms of the visuals. The combat is a lot faster, but it's actually a lot deeper than Nier Automata. And I'd say it's mostly deeper than Dragon's Dogma. There are party members and companions called Einherjar that are supposed to fight alongside you. They show up in the very beginning of the game, but then they're taken away from you. So basically, they're like AI companion to fight alongside you and give you elemental buffs and give your weapons elemental buffs. But you will not be able to see them after the prologue area. You will not see them for at least 3 hours, because there's like this big long dungeon that's at least 2.5 hours long that I just completed. It took a while, but I managed to complete the quest. Is there a way for me to see the quest that I just completed? I want to say no. No. I'm gonna have to go to like an actual menu. So we can do that. We're going to the globe here to actually check out the menu. There. Let's see. So this is chapter 1 that I completed. I don't know how long. It took at least 2 hours for me to complete that. Again, the prologue dungeon I think was about an hour. And this Purify the Soul chapter 1 was at least 2.5 hours, maybe 3. This dungeon was very long. But there are at least 4 save spots within the dungeon. If you escape the dungeon, you revert back to your... you lose all the skills that you've gained and all the items you've gained while you're in the dungeon. So if you want to just escape and you're willing to give up all your progress, you can. But you can save the game in multiple spots during the dungeon. So it's not a one-way. It's not... You aren't going to get trapped if you make multiple game saves. You'll be fine. I'm playing on the hard difficulty level. The combat is mostly okay. It's not that challenging. But enemies will force you to apply some tactics, and I appreciate that. So the game does feature some meaty combat that requires some tactical considerations, and I appreciate that. Again, this is a real-time action game. It's not an RPG. It's not even a turn-based RPG. It is a straight action game now, like a Dragon's Dogma. Again, the combat isn't as mashy as a game like Nier Automata. It's more technical, but it's not as like plodding as like a Dark Souls-born game. It's not as technical. So if you go in expecting an action game, I think you'll be fine. For people who play Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, the combat's better than that game, I think. But this is not a Valkyrie profile game in the traditional sense, where it's turn-based and you're pressing buttons to... You have a button mapped to every character in your party, and you're, like, juggling. It's not that kind of game. It's a straight-up action game now. Fair enough. So far, it's been pretty good. So that's the quest I already cleared, but I am going to do a sub-quest. Press square. So, I don't know which is easier. We'll just try them out. But again, a decent amount of content in this demo. I haven't licked every wall in this demo, but... The dungeons that I've been to so far are reasonably well stocked. They encourage exploration by hiding certain treasure chests and certain passageways. So there are deviations. It's not a huge corridor. There are some tangents, so the exploration might be worth it. Feels good to play this game after playing Last of Us Part 1. Because I was complaining about how linear and very, very, very limiting that game was. This game feels a lot more generous, so I'm happy to see that. Of course, it's a much newer game. It's also Japanese, so they probably wouldn't try to settle for a really limited. Well, a horror game would do that. There are a lot of Japanese horror games still do that. So let's try this one. I'm gonna try and find a book that's inside this subquest. I don't know if I have to complete the entire dungeon, but I'm curious how this subquest will work. I might do a rest stop video where I complete the entire demo by replaying chapter 1. I'm very curious how much content is in this demo. The game stated that you can transfer all of your progress to the finished game if you buy it, so everything I'm doing right now can be played in the final game. Like I said, so far this demo has been very informative. It's made me very interested in the game. I'm not going to pay $60 for it. Elden Ring costs $50. I'd rather play this than Elden Ring, if I'm being honest. We'll talk about that later. One ring to rule them all. So I wonder if this is a complete run of the dungeon, or if it's just like a mini version of the same dungeon, using the same assets. Like I said, straight up action game. Break these barrels and boxes and you'll get gems. And you will use these gems to level up your character. Is there there's no credits here, are there? Actually, there might be. Nope. It's fine. I'm gonna say that Sakuraba Motoi did the soundtrack to this game, because he did the soundtrack to the first 2 games, and it sounds similar to... the music sounds similar to Valkyrie Profile Samaria. I would not be shocked if he worked on this game. I need more elixirs, I'm afraid. We'll see how it goes. Press the trackpad for a map. It's a single map. It's not like in the original Valkyrie Profile where it's like a flat 2D plane and a foreground pane and a background pane. It's not like that. It's just a regular map. I'll go backwards. It's a lot of area back there. There might not be anything back there that I need. Press the triangle button. Oh yeah. Bottom right hand corner of the screen are hollow blossoms. I think they're just collectibles. You pick them up and they reveal they reveal a paragraph of lore for some non-playable character. So I think it's just lore dumping. Oh, wrong button. So I can map my sword, Alpha Deer, by pressing up on the D-pad, and I can map my fencing sword, which is the sword I'm using, by pressing right on the D-pad. Press square for the action, so I can see all the attacks I can do with this saber I got here. It's a faster weapon. It's a stabby weapon. It's not a He-Man like sword. It's more of a pokey, a doki pokey sword. It'll pokey in your doki. Triple wheel, quadra wheel, stepping pierce. Yeah, lunges at the enemy. Let's see. This is a knockback. Do I have a launcher? How about flurry attack? Pressing triangle rapidly increases the number of hits during the flurry. Ooh. So it's like Charlotte from Samurai Showdown. Incessant pierce. Lunges with a series of kicks. Ooh, nice. But yeah, each weapon seems to have a completely different combat style, so that seems cool. Double wheels, double square in the air. Piercing dive. Yeah, the triangle button's for a ground pound in the air. Big fan of that. No launching attacks. Because the other sword I was using had a launching attack. Press up. Press right on the D-pad. That's my pokey sword. Press up on the D-pad. That's my He-Man sword. Sorry, my She-Ra sword. Did I bust open that rock? Yeah, did I bust that column? Well, I broke something. I have a double jump too. It's a skill that I unlocked. Can you see that? Support. I think it's not under defense, is it? Yeah, there's my double jump. I have not maxed out my skill tree yet, so we should be fine. Oh yeah, remember I'm collecting gems because I can spend them to buy upgrades like this. Yeah, it costs all my magic gems. So eventually I'm going to run out, so I'm going to have to start using these anyway. I guess I'll save the game before I start doing that. It might not matter that much, but you can get gems by breaking open all those boxes and barrels I mentioned earlier. Can I go back this way? Because I think... Nope, locked me out. Okay. So that keeps me from going to the area back here behind me to my right. So they drop me in the middle of an area that's different. So it's the same area as Chapter 1, just dumps me in a different area. I haven't seen a Verdant Blossom. Subquests or map. The pieces of paper unlock subquests. Okay. The Astral Globe is not here. The library and the Vingolf. Vingolf? We get to fence with Tiger Woods. We get to slap iron with Tiger Woods. I mentioned this in my previous videos. I wish there were fewer breakable items, but that they had more stuff in them. So instead of making me break 50 items to get like 50 gems, instead of making me break open like 50 items, instead of making me break 50 barrels to get 10 gems, just make me break 10 barrels with the same amount of gems. That's my logic. Stabby, stabby. Okay. That is a weapon weakness. Ow! Taking a bunch of dumb hits. I gotta increase my proficiency with this weapon, so I'm gonna stick with the stabby saber. Dash on the triangle button for 100 hand flurry. For 100 hand slap. Careful! Like I said, actual tactical considerations. I appreciate that. Triangle. Press R2 and press triangle. I think we stunned one of the enemies. One of the enemies, that enemy with the antlers, is vulnerable to lightning attacks. Yeah, remember, you can press the right stick to lock on one enemy, but it might not be helpful in fights like that where the faces are kind of tight. The camera is mostly cooperative. You do have to juggle it sometimes, because sometimes you'll be stuck sometimes you'll be stuck against a wall. You might have to jostle with it a couple of times. The combat is not unmanageable. Seems kind of beefy, and I appreciate that. Hold R2, press X. That is my healing. That green bar below my character is my health bar. The empty gray bar below that green bar is my soul gauge, but I can't use it because I don't have access to Einherjar in this stage. Again, the very beginning of the game, in the prologue, you do, not here. So they'll be unlocked eventually. And what else? I could press the circle button to dodge. I have an evade skill. I have an ability to upgrade that. I think it's under defend. And that's not under defend, it's under support. Yeah, double evade. I have to spend some gems to get it, though. We'll get to that later. I'm not opposed to a double evade, because it might make running a bit fast. It might make a traversal a bit more quick. Like I've mentioned these areas are kind of Dark Souls-y, because like I said, there are lots of corridors. Lots of corridors and arenas like this. Corridors linked to arenas. So if you played a Dark Souls game, these corridors will look somewhat familiar. The layout will look kind of familiar. Don't see any shortcuts. I just see some tangents and some side routes, but not a lot of shortcuts. Like, I think if this game were laid out more like Dark Souls 2, it might be more interesting. But Dark Souls combat was very boss rushy. It was mainly a gauntlet where you fought bosses and enemies. This game does have a gauntlet, but there are fewer bosses to fight, and I appreciate that. And because the combat's a lot more fluid, and it's a lot less technical, I think it's more rewarding than Soulsborne games. It's more my pace. It's a lot faster, it's a lot zippier, and it requires you to pay attention to multiple enemies and do some crowd control, and it makes you do some tactical decisions, like, don't do this move, it might leave me open. Do this other move instead, so that if I get attacked from behind, I have time to recover and jump at it. You have a jump button, by the way. You won't see that in Dark Souls. I mean, obviously, your horse can double jump in Elden Ring, I've been told, so that's kind of interesting. There are dragons. These dragons are not that difficult. They're just alphas. They're slightly stronger than regular enemies. Careful. Yeah, he always does that. He does that turnaround claw attack. Careful. This is an ice dragon, so I might need a fire attack, which I don't have. Circle. Yeah, that didn't do anything. I think he blocked it, which didn't help either. I think I dodged that one. See? This combat's reasonably good. I think I stunned him. Mash on that triangle button. So like 3 squares and mash on the triangle button. Again, this sword is not strong, but it does a lot of attack damage. So for I fell for it again. Ow. Gotta step back. Fell for it a 3rd time. Fell for it every time, dog. Every single time. See? Reasonably meaty combat. Remember, see on the bottom of the screen, I got 3 diamonds. Hold down R2, press X. That's my healing spell. So I got all my health back, and I can refill my diamonds down there by performing long combos and picking up some gems by killing enemies, that kind of thing. Yeah, like I said, combat's a lot faster than a Dark Souls. Not as lethargic, not as technical. But again, as you saw, I had to make some tactical decisions there. Like, the boss will duck and dodge, and I have to duck and dodge and jump around occasionally to kind of keep on my toes. This little blue dot right here. Let me turn around so you can see it on the map. So blue dot right here, like I said, is a hollow blossom. There are 5 more to collect in this area, it looks like. Or in this chapter. No voice acting for that, just ethereal whispers on the soundtrack. I mean, I will say this, the story so far is not that interesting. It feels very, it feels very cold and impersonal. And if you've played the original Valkyrie profile, Lenneth, it's a very emotional story, especially in the North American version really leans in. And apparently Jeremy Blaustein, the guy who did Symphony of the Night's localization, you know, What is a Man, a Miserable Pile of Secrets, that was his dialogue. And the, what was it? He also worked on Metal Gear Solid's localization. You know, next time I'll let you do a strip search on me. That Jeremy Blaustein. There's nothing like slipping a cold hard bullet into a well-greased chamber. Was that the line? That might have been a Blaustein line. I can't remember. That might have been a Hideo Kojima line, or it might have been a Blaustein interpretation of that line, which I think is kind of amusing. Super bunny hopple now. But yeah, the soundtrack's very, the dialogue's very impersonal. I'm not really a fan, I'm afraid. It's a shame. Hold on, here they come. I need to figure out where the launch. I gotta figure out what the launcher is. Yeah. Those gargoyles can be a problem because they can float. They all float up. They don't float down here. Turn off. Yeah, turn off that. Press the right stick to turn off that. Turn off that auto lock. Okay. That glowing blue enemy right there. He's been given what do you call it? An unchained soul. It will float from enemy to enemy. So it will also make those other enemies stronger. So keep that in mind. That one enemy, glowing enemy, is the strongest of the bunch. The camera's kind of tight here, so I'm gonna try and keep these guys at bay. Some hit and run attacks. Yeah, press the triangle button in mid-air to do that ground pound. That is an area of effect attack. It can take out multiple enemies at once. And it might knock them down like that. Sometimes enemies will block that, so keep that. Okay, I need more health than that. Collecting more blue crap. Let me check on something. I'm probably missing something. We're just hoarding, we're just farming blue crap, not complaining. All these gems, just hoarding them all. Again, these boxes do respawn, so that will help. If you want to farm enemies, if you want to farm gems, you can't carry any more arts elixirs. Okay, I might have to use one. I don't really need to use it, but I'm willing to use one. Yeah, I don't really need this. So let's heal myself. And we'll use another one. Press left on the D. So you can see over there, it's mapped to left on the D-pad. Can you see that? Right there. I can only own 6. That's why it's a different color. I've reached my max limit. So I'll use one of these to get my, actually, that's the one, right? Yeah, it's a small arts elixir. Yep. That filled me up. How many did I get for that? 2 segments. Okay, so I'm fine. I didn't waste it. So I'm going to get another one right now. And of course, you can always map these to different, parts of your, D-pad if you want. Do I have any more? I don't have any more health elixirs. I need more of those small health elixirs. I do have medium ones. That might help. So I mapped that to mapped that to down on the D-pad. I might not need to switch weapons, but I'll just keep that in mind. So again, you're gonna have to choose between having more swords or having more elixirs, which is an interesting decision to make in some scenarios. So I'm at my maximum limit of elixirs. So there will be some inventory management in this game. Fine, I understand. Again, it's not as bad as Last of Us. You can only hold one melee weapon at a time. So if you had a brick, so again, you're walking around these crumbling buildings. You can only carry one brick, or one plank of wood, or one bottle. That's it. You can't carry a bottle and a brick. You can't give a bottle to your companion and say, here, hold this. I might need it later. You can't put it in your backpack. More arts elixirs. So I'm running out again. But I have nearly full health, so I might as well use it, I guess. L2, R2 and press X. What elixir do I need? I can't. At full health, so I can't use it for anything. So I can't use any magic right now. It's not completely unnecessary. We'll just hoard it. We'll come back if we need it. So I can go back or I can go this way, huh? That is not the way I came, actually. Let's see what's over here. See, you can explore a bit. You might find some stuff. Whoops. I keep forgetting to use this. This is a grapple. It's used for some environmental puzzles, but apparently it's mostly used for... I've already found this. I've already been here. Sorry. Wasted your time. It's used for, you can also use it to grapple onto enemies, and, you can also use it to, you don't grab enemies with it, you can, teleport yourself over to them, basically, in case I can't go backwards. Fine. Oh, I can't get that blue thing? Darn it. I missed one of the hollow blossoms. That's okay, whatever. So let's, free-fetch the next area. You know, it'll finish loading as soon as I push that door. So, yeah. Like I said, this kind of looks like Dark Souls in a way, doesn't it? Dark Souls 1 and 3, obviously. Oh, wait. Triangle. Yep, crushed him. So I hit him with the lightning that stunned them for a second. It stunned two of them for a second. Should I kill these guys first and take on the big dragon? No, too late now. Kill one of them. This is a fire. This is the ice dragon, so I might need a fire spell, which I don't have, by the way. Of course, unlike Dark Souls, I can pause the game and swap stuff out anytime I want without taking damage. Amazing. A video game we can pause while menuing. I'm being sarcastic. Where's... Can I just use it from here? Yeah, I can just hold down the X button to use it from here. Okay. But my health is fine. What about my arts? Okay, so I can just use it here. I don't have to use it. I have to use it by pressing the menu button. Okay. So I don't have to play this game like Dark Souls. I can actually pause the game. It's amazing. So I'm fine. I thought, yeah, so I can readjust the magic spells. So ice won't help here. Hail shot. So we can put the fire lance on by pressing, by holding down R2 and pressing square. Now we can use the fire spell instead. Works for me. Any other ideas here? We got lightning map to triangle. Heal. I gotta keep heal. Let's map for the X button. So we gotta have that. I can't imagine not ever trying to challenge yourself. Grave Edge is a holy attack. I guess I would have figured Grave Edge was a dark attack. And then Blessing, a Blessed Edge would be a holy attack, but whatever. We're not gonna quibble about etymology, or. Okay, fire, L2, R2, square. Got him, that's his elemental weakness. Ow. But see, he's an ice dragon. And if you see that bar on the left-hand side of the icon, if you do the right elemental attacks, you can, if you do the right elemental attacks, you can stun the enemy by using its elemental weakness repeatedly, so that that meter on the left side is depleted. But I'm not wasting any more fire spells. Now again, if I had an Einherjar, I could probably like execute a. He ate me. Got him. Try to do the flurry on him. I think it's what? 3 square buttons? What is it? 2 square buttons and the triangle? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 1 triangle? No. 1, 2, triangle, yeah. So 1, 2, triangle, mash on the triangle. So it's 2 square button attacks, followed by the triangle, then you mash on the triangle button for that flurry. So if you got one enemy that's really annoying, That'll bring it down. I got my health back, so that's good. I guess he dropped an item that filled my health. No complaints. Let's get these boxes. Remember, time to crate, 5 minutes. And again, I wish there were fewer breakable items. But again, I think, like, remember when Castlevania came out? It's like, they make you break candles. And then they stopped doing that when Symphony of the Night came out. And that was, well, you didn't do it in Castlevania 2 either. But Symphony of the Night was like, yeah, we don't need candles anymore. But it was so dumb, because, like, games like, Ninja Gaiden were doing it too. Because I guess it was, like, part of the rhythm of the game. Was collecting loot not from dead enemies, but from stationary objects, like candles. So instead of enemies dropping random loot or designated loot, we had to break open candles to get them. Again, I'm glad they stopped doing that. It seemed like a dumb way to make you stronger. But I guess in a way, it's kind of like the bricks in Mario Brothers. It's like you break bricks to get, like, you bash bricks to get, like, you know, power-ups. So I guess it was the same idea. Worth considering. It's like, yeah, like, why did old video games like Castlevania and, like, other than Castlevania and Ninja Gaiden, what other games made you, like, break environmental objects for power-ups? I pressed L2 and I didn't need it. But if you didn't have the power-up, you'd be pressing L2 for that. I can show that to you. Just a second. Yeah, nothing else over there to grab. Press L2. That's your grappling hook. It's mainly for environmental puzzles, but you can also do it in combat to, like, quickly close the distance between yourself and an enemy. So I probably should be using it against the archers. I keep forgetting to do that. So I need to start whipping out this grappling hook more often, because it's probably helpful against those archers. Because you can't really run in this game, but if there's an enemy you can target with this grappling hook, then you can get over. You can attack them more quickly. It's kind of like a dash target. And, Blades of Time, of course, I'm a huge fan of that game. I'm never going to stop talking about Blades of Time. It's kind of like a dash target. Yep, found it. So when can I leave? Mom needs a new ring. Yeah, good luck finding Mama. All clear. So now what? That's what I needed. And increases the ambrosia increases the size of the health gauge. So all I had to do was defeat the dragon and all the other mobs, and I was good. Yeah, so we're done. So we're gonna try and get that blue dot up there, above me to the right. So we'll get that. I'm not gonna be able to get that other blue dot that was back there because they locked the door behind me. But whatever. We'll do a separate video for that, I suppose. Yeah, I don't have a rune. Proficiency is now D. Yeah, so again, I'm gaining proficiency by attacking enemies. Or probably defeating them. I wonder if I just attack enemies without defeating them, I wonder how much the proficiency goes up. I'm sure someone's making an FAQ right now about that. I might pitch in. I can check my videos for evidence. So if anyone needs any evidence of how the mechanics work in this game, I guess I can provide some videos. But again, this is based on a demo. It might have changed if the game gets patched at some point. It'll probably get patched after launch. I wouldn't be shocked. No serious bugs, so I'm glad about that. I can't walk through walls like in Last of Us, the remastered version. Like even in the remastered version of Last of Us in the PS4, you can walk through walls. Or maybe that was in the PS3 version. I don't know if that was not in the PS3 version, but never fixed it on the PS4 version. I didn't download any patches, by the way. I just installed the game from the disc. Yep. All my skills are on. Let's go over here and get that thing. So I'm gonna grab those gems while I'm here. Where is that thing? It's over here. Aim right. No. How do I get over there? It's down there. L2. It's like Rico from Just Cause 2. So the L2 button for the grappling hook is also the treasure opening button. Again, sometimes it's worth exploring. There's not a lot of exploration in this game. It's just tangents. So you can't really get lost. What exactly is a Dark Soul? Like I said, the story is kind of cold and impersonal. Again, Valkyrie Profile, the original Valkyrie Profile lent it did a much better job of conveying its themes with actual drama and good dialogue and good performances. Here, everything just feels kind of bleh. Kind of disappointing. But again, so Maria wasn't a particularly good story either, at least in the English language version. So the combat was still good though. The Valkyrie Profile was that combination of like actually good storytelling with good combat. Especially rare in RPGs. Turn-based RPGs, you know, people were usually with the story. I took a lot of damage in that fight. I had to save myself a few times. So again, you come back later, you try to play better, do a speed run, do a more optimal run. Not bad. So this demo seems to have a lot of content. I say it's definitely worth it. And it did the job. It makes me want to play the game when it comes out. Again, some people, a lot of Valkyrie Profile fans are going to bounce off of this because it's not like the first two games, and it's not turn-based at all. So, it's like the Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean, the combat, yeah, this is kind of like that too, but you can't switch characters, so you don't have that Einherjar juggling here. Like I said, the other characters are just AI support. But this game's combat is about, I think this game's combat's about as good, if not better, than the remake of Final Fantasy VII. And it feels like less of a corridor with unskippable cutscenes. It feels more like an action game. So the pacing's a lot better, so that helps. And I think the sequel Integrate already came out with 60 frames a second frame rate, but that's not gonna make the game a must-buy for me. Increasing the game's frame rate for me would not significantly improve the combat in a meaningful way. It'll just make it more responsive. Like in the end, the game still has pacing problems, I think. They're mostly related to what happens between combat scenarios. So, the frame rate isn't gonna fix that. I forgot to save the game. Give me a second. So the save crystal's right there. So I made a video of the Brigandine demo that I sampled. I need to go back and play that game. I'm definitely gonna buy that game at some point. But I wasn't sure if it was like a remake of the PS1 game or just kind of like an unofficial sequel. But yeah, I would tell people if you're okay with this being a Valkyrie Profile game in name and IP only, like in terms of like characters only, even then, this demo does not feel like a Valkyrie Profile game. It feels like a character action game that they made into a Valkyrie Profile game with a Valkyrie Profile skin. Like the music. Weapon enhance. So do my weapon enhancement here. I can increase my double my physical attack, my magic attack. On the right-hand side of the screen there. So we'll hold down the button to confirm that. Level up. I learned to move. Final well. We can press the triangle button to view this move. That takes you to a tutorial menu. We can do all that. Mash on the square button. There you go. It's a straight up finisher. You don't have to mash on the triangle button then. Yeah, so I can also press square twice, then mash on the triangle button. No. 1, 2, and mash on the triangle button. Press square twice, mash on the triangle button. Hold on. 1, 2. That'll do it. Square, square, mash triangle. That wasn't it. There. Square, square, mash triangle. No. Is it square, square, square? Mash triangle? Yeah. Square, 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 mash triangle. There it is. Press square 3 times and mash the triangle button. Okay. Or just mash on the square button. I don't know which attack is stronger though. But I had to it hits more, so there's that. So you get to practice individual moves and combos. That's fine. While in the air, mash on the square button 3 times. It's fine to me. Suck it, Goliath. Hold on. That did it. Nine-hit aerial combo. By mash on the square button to finish things off. Yeah, keep the combo going. Why not? Just see what happens. Let the music play us out, I guess. 50 hits over. Yeah, finish the combo. As we finish the combo, you get the idea. Okay, so you know how we do. So that's been leveled up. How about this? We don't have any Azure gems. We can't level that up. We can keep leveling this one up, apparently. So you can see all the gems we have on the left and all the gems we need on the right. And we've unlocked another skill. 4 squares and a triangle button. It's an evolved sequence, Pierce. One, 2, 3, 4. That wasn't it. I didn't hit 4 times. That didn't help. Yeah, I did not hit 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a triangle. No, that didn't work. Square, 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 square. That didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4. That did it. Keep the combo going. And the combo's finished. We have to record this music at some point. I do dig it. No bagpipes. They're throwing in some folk music that I'm a fan of. He's gone full Clannad. 4 in the air. Anything else? We can learn a couple more moves over here. We have plenty of crystal. We have plenty of gems for it. And now I need Azure gems for more. Final Pierce. The final pole Pierce. How are we going to do this? 5 square, then a triangle. It's 5 square. Oh, you have to hit him on the way down. Okay, that's how it is. So you press square the first time, it's a double hit. That's a double hit. That's the first square attack. So square 1, square. Let me try that again. Square, 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 square. Yes, I was a bit slow on the timing there. Here's your finisher. That's a nice finisher. I gotta practice that. The timing on... Again, this is a timing-based franchise, so... You gotta work on your timing, you know how it is. I don't have any Azure gems, so I can't level up this weapon anymore. Because I can't enhance it anymore. I can become more proficient with it as I do more fights, so there is that. So I think we'll be good. Like I said, the boxes and the barrels respawn, so you can practice with that. Okay, so as usual, let the music play us out. In fact, what I know I'm gonna do, I'll have to go back to the title screen and play the music. So we'll record the music that way. Get on your knees.